We are going to start our public meeting. First, just want to thank everybody for being here in person, but also virtually.
Yay!
Really appreciate when folks can show up. Because we've started public, could we just do roll call so everybody knows who everybody is?
Yep.
And I can start. Amy Ashton Williams, board chair.
Molly Jansen, LCSW.
Nicole Pantley, public member.
Eli Kinsley, LCSW.
Mary Beth Baptista, interim executive director.
Kim Coleman, legislative and licensing analyst for the board.
And online, Olivia.
Olivia Borman, CSWA member.
Thank you. Kenneth, see you online.
Yes, hi everybody. Casey Liddell. I'm with the governor's office, just here to be an observer and enjoy the work that y'all do.
Casey, thank you for reminding me that it's Casey and not Kenneth, because that
That's
felt
all right.
real formal, didn't it?
It's always wrong at the bottom, so.
I see that we have some others. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Cassie. I work.
Hi, Cassie.
And Nick Norman.
Yeah, I saw Nick show up for just a second.
Hi there. My name is Nick Norman. I'm just a member of the public.
Good
Grateful to
seeing
be
you,
here.
Nick.
Glad you're here.
Okay.
So next is approval of minutes.
So you're holding public session in accordance to OAR 192.610 to 192.690 public meeting laws. And did we already call it to order at 1:29 p.m.?
Oh, great.
Okay. Okay, now I'm handing it over to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have to do approval of our April minutes, I believe. So hopefully folks had a chance to review those.
And those are the public meeting minutes, correct?
They are. Yep. The board meeting minutes for 4/26.
I read them. Nicole Pantley, I motion to approve.
Nicole, there's no way anyone online is going to be able to hear you.
Oh, gosh, me and you
There's
said
a
everything.
microphone
Oh.
down there.
Okay,
I'm like, oh.
then I can't hear you.
Moved. Plugged in.
Yeah, you're good. Okay.
Nicole Pantley, I motion to approve.
Thanks, Nicole.
Never told that in my life.
I know. When people tell me to speak, it makes me like freak out a little bit. You're right.
Like I'm doing such a good job.
You joke.
Like, is that sarcasm?
Looking for a second.
Yes, looking for a second, please.
I second that motion.
Tk you, Eli.
You gotta say your name and then
Oh.
second.
Eli Kinsley, and I second the
There you go.
motion.
Thank you. Amy Ashton Williams, aye. What do you think,
Oh,
Molly?
sorry. Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, aye.
Wonderful. The meeting minutes have been approved. So this is new, so give me an opportunity. The next on our agenda is the approval of cases that are over 120 days old. So I think that,
So what does approval mean? I'm confused by the language.
So under the statute, licensure investigation cases are supposed to be resolved within 120 days.
Right.
And so what we are saying is, hey, we have these cases and you have a list of them
Huh?
that are over 120 days old. So we have to get approval from the board to extend that period
Oh, okay.
for those cases.
So it's approval of extension. not-
yeah, and this previously was on our consent agenda. So
Oh,
we
okay.
had like that, and then in the next document was on.
Got it.
This information was on the consent agenda.
Okay, so we just did it a different way.
We did. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I would entertain a motion for approval of the cases that are over 100 days.
This is Molly Jansen. I make a motion to approve the cases, extension of the cases over 120 days.
Nicole Pantley, I'll second.
Thank you, Nicole. Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, aye.
Wonderful. The board has approved the 120 sections. I love it.
We are moving right along.
Oh, no. Okay, sorry.
The oh no, is that because of
I usually have a little bit more of a script on my summary, but that's fine. I'm good. I'm good.
You tell me when you're ready, because next on our agenda is the Consumer Protection Committee. So Molly, you tell
All
me.
right.
when to-
So in the matter of case number 2019-30, I make a motion to close.
This is Amy Ashton Williams. I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Motion, you,
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
yeah. You just did the second, you hadn't voted, so, okay, that passes. In the matter of case 2021-13, make a motion to dismiss.
Nicole Pantley, I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Oh, I'm not sorry, I
You still have to vote.
So Nicole Pantley, I.
You're good.
Eli Kinsley, aye. Yeah.
Yep.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
All right, motion passes. In the matter of case 2021-14, make a motion to dismiss.
Nicole Pantley,
Olivia,
I second.
Oh, Nicole beat ya.
Molly Jansen, aye. Nicole?
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
Motion passes in the matter, excuse me, in the matter of case number 2021-16, I make a motion to dismiss. Looking for a second.
Nicole Pantley, I'll second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
Motion passes. In the matter of case 2021-17, I make a motion to close.
Let's keep this going. Nicole Pantley, I.
Nope, I need a second first before we vote.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, the food has hit my brain. I'm so.
Kinsley, second.
There we go. I got a second.
We got
All
a
right.
second. Second.
All right, Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
All right, that motion passes. In the matter of case 2021-24, I make a motion to close.
Eli Kinsley, second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
And then the motion passes. In the matter of case 2021-28, I make a motion to dismiss.
Nicole Pantley, I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
Motion passes. In the matter of case 2022-11, I make a motion to close.
This is Amy Ashton Williams, I second. Who am I?
I don't know, Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
Motion passes. In the matter of case 2022-35, I make a motion to close.
Nicole Pantley, I second.
Sorry, Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
Motion passes. And the matter of case number 2023-02, I make a motion to close.
This is Amy Ashton Williams, I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
Motion passes. In the matter of case 2023-46, I make a motion to dismiss.
Nicole Pantley, I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy?
Do I?
No, you can abstain if you want.
Amy Ashton Williams abstain.
Motion passes. In the matter of case 2023-47, I make a motion to dismiss. Looking for a second.
Eli Kinsley, second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli's on.
Oh, Eli Kinsley, aye. Sorry.
That's all right.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams abstain.
And the motion passes. In the matter of case 2023-51, I make a motion to close.
Nicole Pantley, I'll second.
I'm sorry, Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
And motion passes. And in the matter of case 2024-36, I make a motion to close.
Amy Ashton Williams, second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
The motion passes. In the matter of case 2024-47, I make a motion to close.
Nicole Pantley, I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Leave it cracked in case somebody, there you go. Perfect.
I need a, do you want to vote?
Yeah, Nicole Pantley, aye.
Okay.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
The motion passes. In the matter of case 2024-54, I make a motion to dismiss.
Nicole Pantley, I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
Motion passes. In the matter of case 2024-63, I make a motion to close.
Amy Ashton Williams, and I'll second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
The matter, I'm sorry, the motion passes. In the matter of case 2025-48, I make a motion to dismiss.
Nicole Pantley, I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, abstain.
Olivia Borman,
that-
I.
Is that,
You should have abstained.
I think that's what I was trying to look. So
That's
Nicole Pantley, I go back, I abstain.
okay.
She seconded that.
I seconded it,
Yeah.
so
Retracting your
I-
second.
I retract my second.
All right, so
Olivia,
a motion has been made to dismiss 2025-48. I am still looking for a second.
Olivia Borman, second.
Thank you, Olivia. Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
No, you're abstaining.
Okay, great. Oh, God.
Just to be
First time I've
clear
ever
for the
said-
record, no one is directing you how to vote.
No, no, no
You
one,
have indicated that you have wanted, to- okay.
no one is telling me how to vote.
No.
I've abstained from this case.
Yes, okay. Eli, can we get a vote from you?
Eli Kinsley, I abstain.
Thank you. Olivia?
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
All right, and that motion does pass. In the matter of 2025-59, I make a motion to close.
This is Amy Ashton Williams, and I second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
And that motion passes. In the matter case 2026-01, I make a motion to dismiss.
Eli Kinsley, a second.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
And that motion passes. And that concludes our cases for Consumer Protection Committee. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Happy lit.
Get a little cross-eyed reading it.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to old business, which it has my name, which is lovely, though I probably will say very little.
It's really neat. Could we make sure that we, because we're on camera, that we have our
Yep.
purple sheets upside down for favor? Okay. So, so going back and looking at some old business from things that you all were working on before I got here. And so that's what this list basically is here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about alternative pathways first, and then I'm going to talk about administrative rulemaking second, which will involve all of these things together. So alternative pathways, my understanding is that you all sent out a survey recently.
Fairly recent.
Months ago.
February?
Yeah, this year.
Okay, so the issue is that, you know, we're trying to figure out alternative pathways for licensure rather than just the licensure exam. And a lot of boards are doing this, like the Oregon State Bar just recently did this, right? Had alternative pathways to licensure. And so I saw your survey and I saw the survey results. However, unfortunately, the survey that you all sent out only asked about how people would feel about not taking the exam or not having the exam be mandatory. There wasn't a discussion about that with alternative pathways, right? With internships or a certain amount of hours or certain, like what the actual alternative would be. So the survey that was just sent out was just basically saying, how wedded to the exam are you? When really that is important to know and part of the question, but there's more that we need to be asking folks about the alternative pathways to licensure. So we're going to need to look at that again and look at some best practices of other types of licensing agencies that have done this to create a survey that's really more representative of what we're asking people. And I'll just tell you from personal experience, when I first got almost exactly like the survey that you all sent, right? About, do you think that the bar is important? Do you think people should take the bar? And I was like, not only do I think people should take the bar, I think you should have an asterisk by your name if you don't. Like I was so in the camp of you have to take the exam. But as the process went on and I was informed about what the alternatives were and how rigorous they were, and but they weren't just, I don't want to take it, give me a job. I really changed my opinion drastically. So I think that it's important that we have a more robust conversation with your licensure base than just how you feel about the exam. So I know that there was some discussion about perhaps writing a report based on the data you received. I feel like there was a discussion around that. But instead of doing that, I think I think it would be great to have, you have a rules committee, correct? That's a public committee. Maybe have the rules committee look into how different licensure agencies have done it, how different states have done it for social work. I know that mental health downstairs is working with their DEI committee to work on questions, and they would be open to doing some sort of cross collaboration with you all on how to write the survey up. So we're not totally behind the 8 ball. Like it's good that we got the first half done, but we just need to work on the second half. So thinking if that's a good idea, we would assign that to that rules committee for next time and I can do some research and look up some stuff for you all to look at and discuss about how to maybe revise the survey. Yeah.
Are you meaning the board's rules committee or the rules advisory committee that has public people on it?
No, I'm not talking about the rules advisory
Okay,
committee.
just-
I'm talking about the board's rules committee. Sorry.
Perfect,
Thank
okay.
you for clarifying that.
Who's currently on that? Just Amy?
Just Amy.
I think Olivia's on it too. Yeah.
Olivia, you want it?
You just
You're-
haven't had to do anything with it yet.
You're muted, Olivia.
Yeah, I just said I think I'm on that too. And yeah, just haven't done anything yet.
Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, and I think so that you know, like the questions that we used actually came from the other states that have alternative paths, and we used much of their questions. We actually used almost all of their.
Oh, so they didn't have questions about the actual alternatives to the exam on their questions?
It was in the qualitative piece where we were like, give us, so if you have ideas around like what the alternative could be, we want to pull that, we want you to write that in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the intention too was there was the possibility that the feedback we got we think that the exam is deeply problematic and something else should be looked at. And if that was the response, we wouldn't, that would drive something one way or the other.
It was really interesting. I don't know if you looked at the results, but
We've seen general themes from Olivia shared that.
yeah, it's pretty close to like
50-50.
50-50 on it. And so yeah, we need to have another crack at it that drills it down a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was really good information. And that's why we wanted the qualitative piece, like for folks to come and like say, like, what Like, if you're for this,
Mhm.
Show us why.
tell us
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
like, what's important, or if you're like, no, there's an alternative and here's what we think it would look like, we would get some more. And we can obviously drill down more and like, give us more information.
Yeah, and I think that these things take time, right? Like, I don't think that you were gonna get your best like, look at my example of the bar exam. When I first got surveyed, like, and I talked to my friends and we were just like, this is ridiculous. That was the first run at it. Then the second run, I was like, all right, well, maybe I don't hate this. Maybe I don't. And then now I'm like, oh, you know what? This actually kind of makes sense how they're having this alternative pathway to a bar exam. So I think it takes a couple rounds to get people to think about it. And the good news is that it is so 50-50 for you all. I think with more discussion around what alternatives would look like, and we can drill down to some of the answers that you got and kind of develop what that is and look at what other states use as their alternative pathway, right? And then send another survey out again. I think that you'll get, like, people will have had time to think about it and you'll get some responses. And a lot of the people who are sort of indifferent, but no, I don't think you should get ready to the exam, probably when you explain through the survey or explain that this is what it would look like, you'll probably get those people to swing over.
Yeah, or they would give us a more robust response
Yeah.
than just here's my idea.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I see. Again, it's kind of like throwing something on the table and then
Yep.
having the discussion around like,
Yeah.
what are we thinking about
Yeah.
doing?
So this is just, I don't want you to feel like, oh no, we didn't do it right, because that's totally not what I'm saying. I think that it was a great first run and we should just, add to that, drill down a little bit more and do that. So we can work on that at the next meeting. Okay.
And the other thing that I thought was important, well, when we think about like the bigger understanding of everything too, is also, well, Amy shared that with me. Sorry, all this couching I don't need to do. Of like the different requirements of states, because that was something else that I noticed in the responses is like, oh, we'll be like worse or something like that. But Oregon has some of the highest requirements for CSWAs to complete before applying for the LCSW. And there's just like a big range of like 750 direct client hours. Sometimes it's just like a number of months. So having that information for folks to help contextualize it will be good.
Yep. Yes, I think that will be good. So I'm glad that you made the first step, because then the second step is going to be a lot easier. So, or more productive, or can continue the productive path. Okay.
And the other is like, if there's like, if folks are like wanting that context, like what do other states like do? What's that like on the ASWB website has that, like, what do
Oh, that's
states-
great.
So you can see what,
You don't
all
have to
the
reach
different
out to them.
requirements.
Yeah.
It's there.
That's great. Okay. Yeah. And then you could maybe use some of that for your questions. Perfect. Okay. So glad you all didn't do a report on the first one, because we got more survey to do. I know everybody's surveyed to death, but you all got a good response rate. I was surprised.
I was too.
Yeah.
A really good
Workers
response.
very passionate.
Total response.
It was,
Over 3,500, I think.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
it was,
Out of the 8.
37.
yeah, it was like close to
That's a
40.
good sample.
That's still,
It was close to like 35-40% of your.
Right, because we have just over 10,000 licensees now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was,
Like CSWAs and bachelors.
this is one of the
Way
biggest.
more than those LTC folks.
3 times, 4
that
times.
was pretty impressive.
Yeah, is this the biggest board or almost?
But
The medical.
the examination, like people have serious, like anyone who's had to take a licensing exam, I feel like has serious feelings about it one way or another, right? They either hated it or they think I did it and you should do it too.
Which isn't a reason to keep something.
Right, which is exactly right, which is the goal, to make sure
Mm.
that we and I don't change my opinion easily, right? And so they got me, so, I think that it was the right information. Okay, so anything else on alternative pathways?
So would the goal be to get a second survey sent out and get results back before September?
No, I think the goal would be to do do you have your subcommittees meet not on board meeting days?
Right.
Oh, you do?
Can I ask this?
Well, the rules one we have met, did not meet on
I mean, it's both. It
Yeah.
can be either
It
way.
just was
Yeah.
that I was like in CPC, and so there was no way to like
Oh, right.
do that.
Right.
So then we were
Yeah.
meeting on a different day.
Yeah.
So it's just summer and I know that people go away a lot, but it would be great if you could meet before the September meeting. Maybe you could send out like a
Doodle.
It's only 2 people.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna say, is this a heavy lift? Is there any way, would you like help? Could I join the committee for just this thing to be able to offer an extra set of hands to help you guys?
Oh, I'm not turning down help.
Of course, Nikki, yeah.
Well, after all of our
as soon
meetings,
as soon as Kim writes it down, I think it is.
I'm committed.
You're on
now.
the committee.
You better be careful.
I proposed,
Yeah.
you're saying, no, I proposed.
Well, I can
even with-
actually just appoint you
Oh,
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
You've been appointed to the.
but even with
These
3
are
of
the
you,
odds.
3 of you, it's gonna be easier to schedule than an entire board meeting. So I'm sure you can find something over the summer, and it would be great to have something. September's a long time to wait.
I know, I
Yeah, that's
If you do want to, I'm happy right now to just appoint to if that.
okay. I think Kim already wrote that you did, so.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm just, you're helping in my notes at this
Yeah.
point.
Okay.
Not committed beyond that.
Everybody can still see us. We just can't see that. Okay, great. So Kim will send out a doodle for the newly appointed. And then it'll be a public meeting, so you'll notice it. Do
Yeah. What dates do you guys even want to consider in the doodle?
you want to think August or July?
Do you have your calendar?
Maybe just say if there's time, are you taking vacation?
That's a better way to look
Maybe
at
let's
it.
do it that way.
Last week of July.
Is a no for you?
I have to look.
Okay, Olivia, do you know if you're taking time off
I
or just
travel
taking
for work.
vacation this summer?
Yeah, I have some stuff.
Do you know when?
Yeah, I'll be out July 3rd to 8th, 10 to 14, the 17th.
July's out then pretty much.
Maybe August.
Yeah,
Maybe just
July's
do it
basically out.
Got it.
Okay.
Are you
sad, I'm free.
are you free in August?
Yeah.
Okay,
So.
Yeah, I
in
have
August.
availability in August.
that seems more reasonable.
Awesome. Maybe you could do the day that you thought was going to be, yeah.
August 20th and 21st, I'm at Peer Workforce Conference.
Okay.
So it's a work thing, so I'm not.
Do you guys prefer Fridays?
Don't care.
Don't care? Okay.
Olivia, is there a better day for you during the week?
Friday is good for me. Great.
Yeah, Friday is good for me. We usually meet. Yeah, so that works.
All right.
All right, we can start there.
Okay, so Oregon administrative rules. So the process for Oregon administrative to revise Oregon administrative rules, there's different paths. And I understand that in the past, this board took the path of creating a rules advisory committee for pretty much every rule that you guys were doing. So that is generally not for routine rules like what we're looking at here. That is generally not the course that most boards take. If you're creating a whole new licensure type or something like that, which I know you would have to have the statutory authority to do first, because we understand how statutes and rules work. If it was something that was a complete major change in the profession, then it would make sense to have a rules advisory committee. But for things, especially like the fee increase or the continuing education for suicide risk, this modified CE language, the adding of the supervisors, these are things that are either have already gone through, like for the fee increase, for example, that's already gone through the legislature, right? So there's no discussion really that would require a RAC in that because it's the cost of doing business, right? You got to pass that. We got to put those in there. And so a RAC is really like, there's two ways. One, you can choose to do it, and boards who have, some sort of major change choose to do it. Or if you get 12 objections, I think it's 12, don't quote me on that, but there's a number of objections and it's either 10 or 12. I could look at the rule. That say, we want a public hearing on this. We want a public hearing or a RAC on this. And that isn't just 12 people, 10, 12 people saying, I hate fee increases, don't increase my fees. There's actually like a official way that you object to a rule. So racks are very time consuming. And as you know, because you've been working on these rules for about a year, if not more, on some of these, right? They're really time consuming and are really only necessary for the big show, right? So the process that most boards, small boards use for these kind of routine changes in the rules is that, like, for example, I'll take what I do at the naturopath board, right? So if it's something like fee increases, or if it's something like changing language based on a statute that you have to, right? The suicide risk or the changes of supervision, I just write the changes to the rule and then the board reviews it. And then they say, okay, this looks right. Or no, let's change the language to this or change the language to that. And so we do that. And then we submit it to the executive director or the rules coordinator, whoever that may be, depending. At naturopath board, it's just me because I only have 3 people. But Kim is interested in learning, so she might be helping with the rules committee or rules coordinator to put in the Secretary of State. So we put out the Secretary of State. We send a message out to licensees. It gets put in the Secretary of State bulletin. It goes out for public comment for 45 days, approximately. The public comment would come to the BLSW. That's how we would link it up. We would get all of that public comment. I like to try to time things so the public comment period ends like right before the next board meeting. So the board can consider all the public comment and decide like, okay, I know that you don't like that we have to raise fees, but we have to raise fees. So public comment, yes, you don't like it, but we're going to do this rule anyways. But sometimes people will give suggestions and be like, well, why don't you change this language to that? Or why are we doing that? And you will want to change the rule. So the path would be for like the fee increase, because I know people aren't going to like it, but you got to raise fees. That's cost doing business. So that, I assume, even if public comment comes in saying that they're against it, we have to do it, right? Or we won't have money to function. So you would just, at the end of the public comment period, at the end of the board meeting, you would approve that as a permanent rule. And then me or Kim would go and do all the work on the Secretary of State website. If, right, like we do a rule and we put it out for public comment and the public comment's persuasive and compelling, and you're like, oh, you know what? I didn't think of wording it this way, or I didn't think of changing this requirement this way. Maybe we should incorporate that, right? Then you can change the rule within your board meeting, and then you submit it back to the Secretary of State, and then it's another 45 days of public comment, and you keep going on that merry-go-round until everybody's moderately happy, right? We can't make everybody happy all the time, but to get to the point where it's like, okay, this is as good as this is going to get, or this is as far as we can change it, or blah, blah, blah. So rule making is 100% within a board's authority to do, and can do it without needing to do a rack. So that's why I've put all of these rules back on here.
But when we look at down the road, the farther down we go with alternative pathways, that would be a rack.
Maybe. It might be a public, like sometimes what we do, other boards do, is that they'll have the discussion at your public board meeting and publish it like this is a public meeting and we're going to discuss this, and have people come in and give as a public meeting. I do that. I've done that before. Other boards have done that before. It could be a rack though. That might be smart.
It might actually be, it seems like it might be faster.
Yeah,
That's where you get feedback then to change it, because otherwise there's a good chance that we get, feedback in a public meeting, and then we're going on that 45-day thing, like multiple times with that one, because that's a big change.
Yeah,
Big change.
I think that you're right. I think that could definitely fall in the big show category, whether you would want to do it as a public hearing or you want to do it as a rack. I think once we get down to that place, I think that's a good discussion for the board to have and make that decision. But for these rules, we just need to launch these guys and put it out there for public comment and see what happens. Now,
We're gonna look at each of these
Yes,
right
please.
now, okay.
and so when we look at the first one,
The fee increase, is that what we're looking at first?
so the fee increase.
There's two documents in there. So there's a PDF and a Word.
One didn't have your like markup, so I wasn't sure which one you wanted in there, so.
How about that?
Which one do you want us to look at right now?
Let me look at which one I want you to look at. Which number is this?
It's,
020.
Yeah,
020.
Yeah, they're the same, I think just
Oh,
one's a PDF and one's a Word.
Right, and the
Which one
reason, and so the reason I have one is the word is because if you were to want to take notes or make changes on it, then you could just do it in the document.
Well, I think we can still do it in the PDFs too. Box lets you, because I put comments in a couple different things. I wasn't sure if we were gonna discuss or how that was gonna be.
We don't, this is my first experience with Box, so I didn't know the limitations.
Which one of these are we opening right now?
I think they're exactly the same. One's just a PDF and one's just a,
one
Okay.
is like, edit, like a crop.
oh, that track changes?
Yeah.
So look at the Word one.
Yeah, and that's the one where I made a comment in, so.
Okay, so here's the thing about what you're looking at versus what you might have looked at before with this rule. The previous draft of this rule that you were all working on had increases across all.
Fees, no
all
matter what.
And when you actually look at what the legislature approved in the last legislative session, they did not approve was it 20% or 30%?
It was 20%.
20%. They did not approve a 20% fee
Okay.
increase across the board. They only approved these 4 types.
That's why the amounts are odd, is it was a 20% increase.
Yes.
I was like, this is weird.
Yes.
It's,
And I made it less
Right.
weird because it was
We
supposed.
rounded it.
Yeah, I know that the legislature. I wanted to round down. She wouldn't let me round up.
Mhm.
Because you couldn't go over 20.
Right?
So-
So we have, and she's not on here today, but, and I'm not talking bad about it. We have a new, what is she? LFO? LFO, right?
LFO, yeah.
Yeah, legislative fiscal analyst.
Or is it CFO? No, it's LFO.
LFO.
Yeah.
And she's the same one that I have at Naturopathic Board. There is no detail that gets by Haley. But let me tell you, I have learned more in the last 2 years from her about budgets and all of that. Like I am so much more like versed in it all now because she has caught every little thing. So love her, very detail oriented. You will all learn a lot if you deal with her. And so, but I did ask her, I should have just done it, but I knew she was going to say no. But it was like a weird, like 27 cents, like $79.27. And then there was one that was like 67 cents, right? So I'm like, can I round one down and one up? Because it should still be, but no.
Nope.
So the RBSW, LMSW, CSWA, LCSW.
Actives, the active.
Just the active status,
Yeah.
the active renewal fees. Like the inactive fees will not change.
I mean, part of me would argue like just do 130, 260,
You can't.
75.
Trust me, I tried. I tried.
Those are the most.
That's the
fees
best you can
for
do.
active status anyway, so
Gotcha.
that's good.
And we don't want to round down too much because like this was passed last year. So we've lost an entire year of revenue by not having this done. So we need to get this done as soon as we possibly can. So if that looks good to you, I would need a motion to submit this to the Secretary of State for rulemaking for this specific number. And if I don't learn how to just back out of box instead of take
It's an arrow.
freaking out, I know I click out of
Have
it
it.
every time.
It's not intuitive. I
It's
do the
not.
same thing.
So for OAR 877-001-0020, that's the only thing we're making
Wait, what?
for that OAR.
Yeah, the real
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
increase. For 1, 2,
That's
3,
all we're proposing or voting on. It would be separate for each of these. right?
Okay.
not doing all the changes at once.
Yeah, I want to make sure that, because you may not agree with other ones, so we're just going to do it one at a time.
You can make the motion specific to OAR 87700.
Okay, so I'm happy to do that. That I would make a motion for OAR 877-001-0020
Period. That's it. To engage to
to
submit the draft.
submit the draft rule
Change.
as written.
Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
Nicole Pantley, I'll second.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, aye.
Cool. And you know what? Next time we have a meeting, I'm going to sit over there because I feel like I'm totally ignoring you because I'm talking to all of you. So I need to sit over there so I can.
Well, maybe it's normally
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I know. But I just realized I'm like, oh my God, my back's totally to you. That's so rude. Okay. All right. So then the next rule to look at that you have as a draft is 877-020-0010. I find this in the, good Lord. This box thing, man.
Plan of practice and supervision. Right. And that one has track changes in it, so we can easily see.
Yes.
I feel like we've been talking about.
That's right.
Ever, particularly around schools.
It's, yeah, that's what it's.
Workers at practice in schools.
Also people who have like medical
Medical,
issues that,
yes.
yeah, it's to take a lot of the administrative labor off of the staff. So like on and off plans. Yeah.
So I did nothing to this.
Mhm.
This is all your work.
Yes.
And so if it's ready to put out for public comment,
So,
we should do that.
well, I have a couple questions on
Sure.
it. So I'm looking at 4A in the new language, the green language. Yeah, I was a little, the written notification is completed and submitted by the associate on the board approved form with all of the requested information. So should this say requested and required
Yeah.
information? Like, because it implies only what is asked of you, like.
So, and we are, how many forms have we like flashed? Right? There's so many forms that we're not using anymore. So
Yeah.
the better language would probably be, the written notification. What's the written notification referring to?
Yeah,
That's the CS.
Basically, a CSWA letting the
Mhm.
board know that they are having a reduction in supervision.
And why and for how long, right?
Okay, so this is the passive voice. I have a
Mhm.
hard time with passive voice. So, associate will complete written notification and submit
I should say.
to the board their request for hour reduction.
So the way the rule was written before, it had to be a request and the board wanted to change it so that they could just notify us without us having to approve. Because Kyle always said, if someone submits a request, that means it has to be approved.
That's right.
And so
Try
we
move
wanted
away from
to
that.
reduce some of the administrative burden on staff by just allowing CSWAs to submit a notification to us.
Okay, so that's what we should write then. What is it? CSWA,
notification.
CSWA.
CSW, oh, I can't now. How come I can't write on this?
It's a PDF.
No, I did it.
You have to do it as a comment, right?
Oh,
Yeah, you
yeah.
highlight it and then it'll say highlight and comment and then, yeah. That's how I did it. So
And then you
I couldn't
put
edit the
little
document.
activity thing on the side and see what everyone's done.
Lord. Okay, this is why I did the word. Okay, so see, that is an associate? Is that what we
Yeah.
would say?
That's fine.
Associate shall what? Submit
Written notification
written,
board regarding the need, I guess, to reduce. I think,
associate shall submit written notification to the board. Written notification of reduction of hours to the board?
Vacation for the rest.
yeah,
They don't even just, they
Shouldn't it
just,
say-
they just let us know.
Oh.
Yeah.
You might want to re-say again supervision hours instead of just hours.
hours and direct service and supervision hours, because it's both that usually drop.
Okay, yeah.
And that was the other reason to do it, is that so people weren't paying for supervision when they weren't actually when they had reduced hours.
Okay, so associate shall submit, wow, let's say that 3 times fast. Associate shall submit written notification of reduction of supervision or direct service hours to the board.
Yes.
And or probably. Sometimes it's both, sometimes it's gonna be one.
Or actually, sadly, this means and also in
Okay.
the rules and statutes.
Okay,
Confusing, but
fine.
true.
Does it need to say within a certain timeline, like within 2 weeks of when the reduction starts or
I
something
think
like that? You know what I mean? What I don't want is people to like, oh, 3 months ago.
Yeah, because they didn't do it.
Right.
Right, yeah.
From what I remember when you guys did this rule was that the intent was that it would be on the report. Like the report wouldn't have, the minimum amount of hours, and then there would be like a justification right there on the report.
On the eval, you mean?
Yeah, like that would be the written notification.
Oh, that it would be
Otherwise, they're gonna have
separate?
to send something separate.
Right, so on the 6-month report,
Yeah.
they also have like this written that says, hey, I had an illness, so I had less blah, blah, blah. Here's the why.
Yeah.
So that we're not getting this, and then
Mm.
you guys are like having to track that and then hold it up
Right.
against the 6-month report. I remember this discussion now.
Yeah. Because that
Don't.
was a staff
Sorry.
question. They're like, it says a written notification, but how are they supposed, like just an email, or what does that mean? It could be
So that
many
when the
different ways.
6-month report.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand it. I don't recall the conversation, but that's not surprising because we've talked about a lot of stuff.
It's been
That's fine. I mean, I think we just need to acknowledge that we really have no way of tracking this. So someone could repeatedly have reduced hours and we would have no way
the
of.
way we track it is like
Yeah.
Cassie. She's
And there's different things in Fentia too that we're discovering that
Yeah.
you can track things.
If there was a reduced hours, right, then they would, in addition to the 6-month, we would then be like, where is the written? Because then this rule change would be like, then you need to have written notification that says, here's the why.
But you're just saying that would be in the 6-month eval.
No, like, we're gonna see the 6-month report, and then there's this note, like, they're sending us like, here's the why.
But I thought you said it was supposed to be in the 6-month report to avoid them having send something different. So now I feel like you're.
that is what I thought was a conversation at one point at least.
Mhm.
But I don't think we actually have a box in the
Can't they
6-month report for that.
Utilize the
Can't they
6-month
put it
eval.
in their, like, can't you have something in the Fentia portal for that? So for now, here's what I've written. For now, here's what I've written, because we're not going to figure out like the policy piece of this yet, and that's okay, because we have time. Associate shall submit written notification of the reduction of supervision or direct service hours in a manner directed by the board.
Okay, because that leaves it open.
Yeah.
Manner directed by the board leaves
Right.
it open for us to, okay. Okay, with-
So, yeah. Who knows? The person who comes after me may love forms the same way I hate them. Right? Who knows? So,
well, and let's be completely candid. It's not about whoever's in the executive director position. It's about what works for the staff, because they're the
100%.
ones who are doing it. So if Cassie tells me, I want this to be an extra form, then that's what we're gonna do.
so you're gonna
You know?
love my update of how many things that I've asked what they love and hate, and we've changed. So you're gonna love that. I agree with you.
So we have language on this. The other thing, note I had on this one was in B. Under that second line, it starts to talk about meetings as required under the approved plan, and this rule such as due to should just be deleted.
Yes, it should.
It's just not necessary, that's all.
I don't know how to delete it.
Well, you have to do it later, I guess. I don't know.
I'll highlight it and say delete that.
That's the only things I had on that one. For any comments?
And I mean, I don't think you have to vote on this, but I will go through and make sure that there's no typos before. I mean, I'm not going to change anything substantively, but if I see weird words, yeah, I'll fix that before we. And sometimes if there are weird things, the people at the Secretary of State will be like, your outline didn't have a parenthesis. It's like, okay. But I'm glad there's all these detailed people in my life. Okay.
I have another question. So if because it talks about this no more than 100 days reduced supervision, if someone is sick, for example, for longer than 100 days, that impacts their ability to see clients and attend supervision, then what happens?
They should be going inactive at that point, Olivia, really.
Okay.
And that, you
Okay.
know, doesn't hurt their progress, but it just pauses everything for
Yeah.
them.
So this rule would allow someone to stay active and still have like, reduced requirements, but a lot of people
Got
were
it. That
going
makes
inactive.
sense.
Yeah, because what was happening is school social workers were having to go inactive every summer and then activate, and then it was just such
Mm,
extra labor for everybody, them and for the staff, so.
Or you go on maternity, paternity leave,
Mhm.
and you're having to do, like, go inactive, like, what?
Mhm.
What?
Mhm. Okay.
cool.
So with those edits, is there any other edits that you want to make before we launch this?
I don't know.
Okay.
We need to wait for Nicole.
Oh, we should wait. Yeah.
We look at the other one while we wait for
Yeah,
Nicole.
we sure can. I was just going to say that.
Which one is that?
It's 12.
So Mike,
Oh, yeah. This one is just to add the names in.
but, so is there somewhere else, Kim, I'm looking at you because you usually know this stuff. Is somewhere else in the ORS that it limits the number of
Yes.
hours? Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's-
find it in this and I was getting a little freaked out about that.
Division 10.
So it's just a different place.
Yeah,
but it's
and-
still there. Okay.
Yeah, and I talked to Mary Beth about that. So,
You did?
you have a lot going on, but you did respond. But I was saying how, like, currently the way
Number
the rules are written,
didn't-
like
yeah.
the rules that allow,
So
the rules allow
7,
a licensed
amazing.
psychologist or psychiatrist to provide.
I definitely
CSWA
did
supervision.
talk to me about this.
Yes, but then that's Division 12, and that's where we're just adding in LMFT and LPC. But then in Division 10, it limits those particular supervision hours to 50. And I don't know if that's the intent behind
Yeah.
the
But it-
requirement now.
Well, the intent was for there not to be a cap.
So that needs to basically be removed.
What?
No, there,
No,
that
no,
wasn't-
that's not, there's no language around that.
No, not your intent, but the. Oh.
Yeah, so and this might be just like the exam thing, where we may not do this one today. We may need to have more discussion around it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I want to do it all separately. But the goal is to break down the barriers, right, for supervision and increase supervision and ability to have supervisors. And so the goal is to allow for psychiatrists and marriage family counselors to be able to supervise, period. Like as if in this,
Unlimited, meaning never, you don't ever have to have a social worker actually supervise you towards licensure. Because I can tell you, like, the entire social work community is gonna have
Yeah.
major issue with that.
okay,
Not just statewide, but that's a national.
okay. So this one's obviously not ready to go on this, and this one needs more conversation, and that's totally fine. I didn't,
I mean, adding them to the one that exists,
Yeah.
where it does cap it, that we are in support of. I know that.
That's actually,
Yeah.
that
We've
one,
been wanting to
that
do
one,
that for a
that
long
one
time.
actually did have a rules advisory committee, but that was what came out of, because I sat on that one.
Right.
That is what came out from the LCSWs that sat there.
so there may be need for more discussion on this. We do not have to launch this. I would rather not launch half of it if we don't know what the other half's going to look like, right? So I'd rather put a pin in all of it on this topic if we need to. But so what I'm
Well,
hearing,
but on the flip side of that, if the goal is to reduce barriers, I would rather at least approve the change to add these to the current number of hours they can provide, because that reduces a barrier in and of itself,
and
and
then,
then deal with the hour issue later.
okay, That's, okay.
Because that opens
Because they are-
doors immediately.
Okay, because they are in two separate rules. They're not in this
Yeah.
rule.
Yes.
So that's what I misunderstood. I thought it was in the same rule. Okay, they're two separate rules.
Because I was trying to find, I even asked them, like, can you give me a second set of eyes? Why can't I find where
Okay.
it says that they can only do up to half? And I went to the other division. I'm like,
Okay.
why are these
So
separated?
we can change this one because it doesn't change the hours. It just changes the.
Well, they work hand in hand, so this would open it up, but if you go to the next rule, it doesn't say what they can then, how many hours they can do, so it's still limiting, like they go together.
Yeah, I'd rather have this be. Because
So I guess I'm confused. Are you saying that recent legislation passed something that said this is something that has to happen?
No,
Okay,
I'm saying,
No, the law, that didn't say any of that. It just, we're just requested to add those,
which was already at the
yeah,
plan.
which was, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I guess I'm.
To have no
confused.
discussion around, because I'm gonna agree with you. They have to see a social worker at some point, right, for supervision.
So why are we even talking about the hours then? Where is that coming from?
well, because part of the concept, right, behind the behavioral health task force and all of those things is to increase access,
I
right?
understand that.
And so one of the ways to do that is to allow them to be supervisors in the same manner in which you allow social workers to be supervisors. And I guess some of the concept was if they're okay to be, but now I'm hearing something different from the two of you, right? It's not that you don't think that they're qualified to be supervisors. It's that you don't think that people should end up being social workers without ever being supervised by a social worker.
And to be clear, it's not that I think that, but it is even LPC like will say, I don't have the same education as a social worker. I don't have the same lens. And so to be a licensed clinical social worker, you should be required, talk about best practice nationally, to have some of your supervision hours should be from a licensed clinical social worker. It is a very different conversation that happens, and supervision is different.
I think about like
So I-
macro systems, social policy, social justice, all those type of things. As a CHC or anything like that, or LPC, which is what I was gonna go for. I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
So this rule's not ready to launch. Like the other ones seemed pretty easy, right? Like we just knew it. So this one's not ready to launch. I'd rather not do it in piecemeal. There's
Okay, I'm really struggling to
I'm
understand why it's
confused
not
how
ready
it's
to
still
launch.
piecemeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What's
think
the
I'm
other
the
rule,
same
Kim? I'll pull
confusion
it
as
up right now.
Molly.
I was
Yeah.
like, what is, because I remember, like, I know that, because I even remember the mock-up of that rule that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Pull up the other rule. That. If he's so old, I don't know.
because, yeah,
Well, for this rule specifically, we're just adding the language of the LMFT and the LPC. That's it. That's the only thing we're voting on. And I think we're in agreement that we can vote on that. We're just,
Yeah.
my only concern would be that it would probably be better if we're going to limit the hours, that it be in this, like it's all in one place.
section.
Yeah. Right. So like rather that from the get-go, we understand the expectation of.
So what you're proposing is that in September,
It's,
that we would change,
00010. And
that
then
somehow these rules would be combined.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe have more of a discussion about limiting, about how far you want to limit those hours.
I mean, there's never been any kind of conversation that it would be limited more than it currently is. So I guess I don't understand why we wouldn't change this one now, and then if we want to incorporate the hour limit into it in September, we can
I
still
think
do
the
that.
hour limit it's there now.
Right.
So it's 877-020-0010. It says that at least 50 supervision hours, group or individual, must be with a supervisor as defined in OAR, and then it lists the rule that states your supervisor must be an LCSW.
Okay.
Computer screen just not really dumb. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. And then it says no more than 50 supervision hours, group or individual, maybe with a supervisor as defined in the OAR that states that a psychologist or psychiatrist can be a supervisor.
Right.
So if we just added LMFTs and LPCs into the
It's-
psychologist and psychiatrist rule, they would still be at that 50-hour
Yeah.
cap.
So why wouldn't we just do that then?
Because I think that there's,
Can't we?
well, we could do that. But then I think if there was going to be a discussion later about not having the 50-hour cap or having a different hour cap.
So that's where I want to understand
I
where
think
that's
we're all
coming
good
from,
with
because
the
that's
50-hour
never,
cap.
that's
Yeah.
never been a discussion we wanted to have as a board. It wasn't something we ever were gonna move on. So I'm really wanting to understand what's driving that for you.
It's because the Behavioral Health Task Force, right? They wanted to reduce barriers to licensure. They wanted to reduce barriers to supervision. And so if there can be more discussion around those hours, then that is where it's coming from.
We had that conversation with them, which is why some of the language got changed. So that's, it feels like we've already gone down that road and we got to on the same page and now we're going backwards.
No, we're not going backwards. We're just having a conversation about it.
We already had the conversation and the language was changed
Mhm.
before it went to legislation based on the feedback.
Mhm.
Right, it was, we want to include LMFTs and LPCs, but as a board, you decide
Mhm.
the hour, like
Right.
what that looks like. And we were like, cool, it could be the same as the psychiatrist and
I think it was the hours and the level of training that they would have to do adjunct training in order to support them while they're being supervised as well. My understanding.
So this is clearly not ready to, let's move on from this one and we'll have more discussion about this.
Just for the record, I do think this part of it is ready and I just don't want there to be an impression that we're delaying it because of the
Yeah.
hours issue, when what we're really trying to do is put this in place. So literally it's before September. If someone had a family therapist or whatever the new language, marriage and family therapist or whatever else we're adding in, that they could do that before September instead of waiting. Like if we're talking about reducing barriers, why wouldn't we just do that right now?
And then we can, it's a separate rule that we can look at later.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I mean, yes, but then there's, it's gonna, the
Yeah.
current rule, the other one doesn't name.
It doesn't name anybody though, Amy.
Okay.
It just says any, not like outside of your LCSW. They have, like you have to have 50 hours of LCSW. It doesn't name any of the other, no,
Okay,
no, that's why it's separate, I think, so.
helpful. Thank
Okay.
you. I didn't.
That's where you were getting stuck.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, I didn't see
Okay.
that. Okay, so do we need to vote on adding this one?
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing. So from a transparency piece, right? So we're gonna have public come out on this, right? And the agreement of this. Then at the next meeting, have another discussion and maybe change the cap of hours. I just want to make sure it doesn't appear that we were kind of trying to go around the issue of the cap of the hours or the changing of the cap of the hours by adding these now and not having the public have, the licensees have the full picture of what this means. But I'm totally fine with moving forward with this right now, and then we can discuss the other one later at a different meeting, if that's what you prefer.
Well, if we don't need to change the other ones, like if it's pretty broad, then
Mhm.
there is.
Okay. Okay. Then yes, you do need to vote to tell me to do it.
Olivia making a motion to tell her to do it. What's the word I would use?
It's 5D. If you look at the old business 5D,
OAR.
it's the OAR 877-020-0012.
Okay, motion to what? Can someone tell it to me and I can just repeat it?
Read
Or
the
someone who
numbers
knows
at the
it.
top of the document there.
Okay.
See the,
OAR
and then, and yep.
7-020-0012. For this one, I make a motion to have it
Accept it.
submitted to the legislator as
Secretary of State.
to the Secretary of State as written.
We already did the other one, right? The temporary
We need to
reduction.
go back to that because Dickie wasn't in the room.
Oh,
Yeah, we gotta go, sorry.
No,
you don't finish
I
it
just
first.
didn't want to vote on anything without you.
Eli Kinsley, I second that motion.
Amy Ashton Williams, I.
Molly Jansen, I.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, aye.
Do we want to go back
Yeah.
to 0010?
Mhm. But
Which
this,
one is it? 00? Which one are we, the 020, 0010? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
and with that, put,
Is that the 110?
That was the reduction in supervision hours, yeah.
in that motion, you should say with agreed upon edits.
This is Amy Ashton Williams, and I make a motion.
To submit,
To submit to the Secretary of State OAR 877-020-0010. The modifications as discussed in the meeting. The revisions and modifications discussed in the meeting to this rule.
Molly Jansen, I second.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
Molly Jansen, I.
Nicole Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, aye.
So we're gonna look at 877-025-0006.
right? Yep. And this is another one I did not change. Actually, I should just say, the only one I changed was the fees, because it was wrong. So this is all your language still.
And this one is a very minor
Yeah.
Just
change.
that redaction, right?
It's just moving the clinical out because that rule applies to all regulated social
Mhm.
workers, not just.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So just strike the clinical.
Yeah, so just the social work. One little edit. This is Molly Jansen. I make a motion on OAR 877-025-006 to move forward with the proposed edits in the document as reviewed in our meeting today.
Olivia Borman, second.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
Molly Jansen, I.
Oh, Pantley, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, aye.
Okay, moving on to 001.
Another one is pretty,
Straightforward.
yeah, and then just adds in that language, right, from the legislature, so. Oh, I guess I just had one question. Where did I have that? Oh,
Space, DSWA to be.
yeah, under 3B, it says for a master's social worker.
An LMSW, right?
Yeah, so maybe it should just say master social worker, is that it? Because it includes then CSWA, LMSW, and LCSW?
Well,
Is that it?
CSWAs aren't required to do continuing education.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So okay. So I guess, because in some places it says licensed clinical social worker. I just want to make sure the language is.
Right, no, I agree with you.
We get a little,
Licensed
our licenses are confusing.
Yeah, so for.
Is it just for licensed number B, or not number B, hello? B, is that for licensed folks?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just for LMSWs.
Only LMSW? Let's just put
Well,
that then.
the whole, I mean, even one,
Yeah.
a regulated social worker is required to report continuing education. As a CSWA, I am regulated, but I am not required to do continuing education. So should regulated social worker be clarified?
I mean, there's another rule that says CSWAs are not required to do CE. I think it's right at the beginning.
Okay.
So, but do you have a license?
No,
No.
No.
no,
Okay, then so can't we just say a licensed social worker?
because but no, the BSWs are not licensed technically, you know.
But they have to do CE?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a certificate of registration.
What can we say, a licensed or,
Or it's registered.
Can we
isn't it?
just write CSW or BSW? Like, can we just include the specific license types that are required to do continuing education, to be clear?
Or can we say a regulated social worker with the exception of CSWA is required?
Yeah.
I think to list out the people who have to do it
All right.
makes.
Yeah,
I think
I mean,
question.
so the
That could only be like
in Division 25,
Yes.
just says a regulated social worker must complete and report continuing education according to the requirements of OAR, this is whole division. And then it says a certified social work associate is not required to complete or report continuing education. That's like the first rule of the Division 25, but it still could be clearer.
Yeah, let's clean it up then.
And then, so that's a number one, we're gonna
Right.
list it. So then what are we gonna do for B? 3B?
It should say
Licensed
licensed master social worker.
And then.
And then in 4A, what? 4, clarifying there too, because it starts with the same, a regulated social worker.
Okay,
But that's just about who reports more hours. So it's just a regulated social worker who reports hours. So I think it's
Yeah.
okay as it is because it's specifically talking about those who report hours.
Everybody's don't report hours.
Yeah.
but your point is still correct, though. You're regulated, but this doesn't apply to you. So I think,
Right. So she's a regulated social worker who does not report hours.
It says a regulated social worker who reports 6 hours, not regulated social, like.
how about just still listing
So
the
clear.
people? Right, like this seems weird to have vague, right, should we just list the types or whatever? I mean, if it's,
Can we just say reporting more than the total of hours required for a 2-year period may carry over?
Actually makes sense.
yeah, it's a lot of words.
Yeah, this is fewer words if we just start
Yeah,
reporting
I agree.
more than the total hours required. I mean, you have to change it a little bit in the middle, but that's it.
Yeah, that makes
And then we don't have to worry about
Yep.
changing it in the future.
Yeah.
sense. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So this is Molly Jansen. I make a motion on OAR 877-025-0011 to accept the changes in the document and discussed in our meeting as well. To move this forward to the Secretary of, whatever the next step is for the process.
This is, Amy Ashton Williams, and I'll second that along. Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
Molly Jansen, aye.
Nicole Bailey, aye.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, aye.
Okay. So I don't know if this is old business or new business, but we put it under old business because it's an old statute. And so maybe you know about it, but we just didn't know if you knew. So do you know about it?
I mean, this
Yeah.
conversation has come up.
It has come up. Okay.
Yeah.
So, this, I know that there was some discussion among different AAGs about whether or not boards should have a rule related to this, or if they could just rely on the statute. I think we have now come to the place where everyone is recommending that every board has a rule related to this, and they don't rely on the statute. I specifically encourage you all, just in the month and a half I've been here, I think you are going to get a ton of these. Oh, and for everybody, what I'm talking about, sorry. It's Senate Bill 1552 is passed 2024. Basically, in sum, it allows people to get predetermination about whether or not they would be licensed if they went to school. So you don't want to spend all your money going to school when you have, 16 felony convictions for sex abuse and you're never going to be a social worker, right? So it allows people to kind of have that pre-clearance, right? Now, it's not a guarantee, right? And it's not like, we're not guaranteeing these people are going to get licensed, and it certainly would depend on behavior after they're asking for declaration. There's lots of different safety checks and balances in this. But the one thing for sure that if you put it in rule, and I think you should all do this because I think you're going to get a lot of them, is you can charge for that. Right? I think you're going to get a lot of these, like a lot. And I think that would be great for you all because it's going to help you down the line to when it comes to applications, right? So I think that you're going to get a lot of these. I think that, there's a pretty standard rule that's floating out there amongst the executive directors of the boards that they used, and then they just make a determination of what fee they're going to charge for it. And it has to be based in some sort of reality, right? We can't say,
Right.
we're going to charge $500. We just did this at OBNM recently. I think I basically I did what like a licensure application fee plus a little bit more because a licensure application really only relies on my AS2, but this would rely on both my AS2 and my investigator and me. And so, it's different pay grades all the way around. So I can massage and figure out what you guys in the realm of reality should probably propose. Then we have to go through the process with DAS for them to bless that is the amount that is reasonable, right? So we don't,
You should probably talk to LPC and see what they're doing. I feel like we should be equivalent.
Yeah.
They're just the most similar in terms of boards.
This cost proposal would be to offset the cost of the extra administrative burden it takes in order to research and look at the appropriateness for these.
and write up a report and have it reviewed by the executive director, have it reviewed by the board, right? So I think we just did ours. You would think I would remember it. I think I charged like $100, but I know other boards, but I only have 1,250 licensees, right? So the amount of work that would be done, like the amount that we would get, like would be different than you all. Also,
Hard to know. Honestly, I think one of the things that often happens is they're talking to like social work programs before they even come to the board. Sometimes they're finding out in their programs. So I do think we'll get some of these, but I'm not sure we're going to get as many as you think because there's already a place where people go sometimes to ask those, explore that. Because it happens all the time in our programs where we'll say to somebody, like, because part of the social work education is they have to do a practicum. It means, they're on site in an agency. So that's the first time where we really start to explore, like, can we even get you in the door for a practicum? Because sometimes we can't. And if we can't do that, they're never going to end up here. So there's a little bit of check and balances already.
And then now all practicum sites, if you want to be able to bill for any services, you have to certificate of approval, you have to go through a BCU. You're going to have to go through the BCU. And like our practice right now is that if you don't make it through the BCU, we're not going to take you on site as a student. So we give them like a 6-month buffer. It's unfortunate, but if they can't pass that very basic level, then we're not going to be able to protect our clients as well, or, increase the liability. So it's.
Yeah. Well, I do think I do think it makes sense. There should be some kind of fee around it because it's going to be increased work for our staff who are already overloaded.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be quite as many as you would think.
Yeah, I've only seen what I've seen for the last.
Some people might be thinking about going to school and haven't thought about it and might just do that first.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Like,
often what happens is they kind of start down that road, and then in their 2-year program, they start to explore the realities of it and start to hear what works and what doesn't. And then when they get to our level, there are times where we just flat out say, like, with your history, like, we can't even place you. You're not going to get a job in the field.
But do they ever talk about that, like, right in the very beginning? So like, I know.
Yeah, we're up
Like
front.
first thing.
Yeah, that is part of you know, the early process is like, we're gonna need to know this. And if you have a history, like, we need to know now, let's have that conversation. But
Okay.
sometimes
Before admission.
ideally, yeah, that is part of it, but
Okay.
or early on, and then they can still get a degree with us. It just may not be our degree, you know, we
Yeah,
pivot
because
then.
I was looking into this before I changed mine
Yeah.
and nobody asked me that.
Hmm.
Nobody at a college.
Well, it
asked me that.
definitely happens at practicum
Mhm.
placement. We have to have that
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Many of them require background.
Yeah, we have to
checks.
disclose it anyway during your, when you fill out your field
Yeah.
practicum
Yeah.
application, you gotta disclose it.
Yeah.
And, but she's right.
But what
There's a lot
I'm
of-
saying is that like I sign up for a school, I start investing already. I mean, and for some of us, even $1,000 is a lot.
Right, but here's the thing, in terms of at undergrad level, I'm talking
Mhm.
about. So we have
Yeah.
students who maybe come in, we don't necessarily, we're not, I'm gonna use the word screening for lack of a better word, but I don't love it. We're not screening for that
Mhm.
when they come into the program, because we have all kinds of folks in social work that have all kinds of histories, and they are able to be really successful and get licensed and go, like, do all these things.
Yeah.
But there are occasions where we have certain things that don't. If I have a student who, let's say halfway through the program, we realize, ooh, we didn't realize what your conviction was, and this is the reality of it, they're not out those credits and money. What we do then is, okay, what degree can you get? So they still get a college degree.
Mhm.
So it's not a waste of money in that way, like, and they can still potentially, you know,
And that,
do other kinds of work.
and that makes sense because it's a college degree versus
Yeah.
like going to additional
Licensure.
school, like going to law school or going to med school or whatever. Either way, it's a statute. We should
Yeah.
have a rule, and we should have, you know, a reasonable, and, you know, it's also buy-in, right? Like, people aren't going to be like, oh, maybe I'm at social work school. Let me see what they say, right? Like, you have to, you know,
Yeah, and if it
you're showing a commitment to that this is a serious question. So I will write it up.
That'd be great.
Well, because I have, like, I just did mine, which is what made me think of it. I was like downloading mine the other day, and I was like, social work has
Yeah.
it.
I mean-
Then we talked about it.
we need a process for it regardless.
Yeah. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, and it'll be super easy.
Yeah, and
So,
I think that once you have, we know what we're gonna do, that there should be like a template response to somebody who puts in the request,
Yeah.
right? An automatic response, and part of it could be, we encourage you to reach out to social work programs to discuss your individual situation, because programs will have those conversations. And so that's just another way that they can maybe get some of those, you know,
Yeah.
questions
Okay.
answered
Yeah.
to a certain extent. I mean, it's rare we're gonna say, oh, I know, absolutely, that's a hard no, but there are times where it's like, this is a hard no. Because it also has to do with like, how long ago was it?
yeah.
Right.
What have you done since then? You
Exactly.
know, but there's those very egregious convictions. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, murder and specific abuse.
Child abuse is a big
Yeah,
one,
that's a
actually.
big
that
one.
gets
Yeah,
away.
exactly. And so those are the ones that,
Yeah.
and you just, us doing our due diligence to educate folks, like, hey, these ones are probably gonna be hard no.
Actually,
Do
had
you know
murder,
what
but it was a
you
long time ago. It's kind
We'll bring that back to us. Do you have an idea?
Oh, September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get it like, not right before the meeting? Or at least we,
I will try better. You don't understand how
I
hard
know,
enough
I know,
wax
I know.
thing was for me this time. I didn't understand it at all. Okay, but yes, no.
That's it on that. We're not voting, it was just conversation.
Yes, this is just, I'm gonna do it, yeah. And I also well, we'll talk about that. Okay, so, new business, I decided that like, when I looked at how many investigations there were and all of this, I was like, you know what, they're not gonna wanna hear like my little onboarding spiel, so we're just gonna let Kyle's be Kyle's, and then we don't need to have mine. However, we do need to discuss the delegation of authority. So, Molly, I think like how you're saying is what the staff wants, and if the staff doesn't want the forms, and that's exactly what we've been doing for the last, I don't know, since I got here, right? We've gone over every system to try and root out like where we're getting stuck. Like, why are things taking longer than, so the governor, just so we're clear, the governor's expectation is that licenses are issued within 5 days of a complete application. On a good day, it was 30-ish days around here, if not more.
It did, well, we weren't tracking the right thing. Remember, we were tracking when we received an application.
Okay, right.
Between like how long it took for it to get complete and be reviewed by staff,
Okay.
because we were basically like tracking our work times, not just like from a completed application to approval, because
Okay.
to us, that wasn't a meaningful number, but we're realizing it is meaningful to other people, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have been really, and I did not, these two can speak freely. But I think generally have been pretty pleased with the changes that we've made to the process and given like more autonomy to each staff person to be able to complete their own projects, more clear direction about what is theirs, but yet where they're supporting each other, where we can avoid duplications of effort. I think there was a lot of that. Forms for having the sake of forms was a reoccurring, complicated forms seems to be a recurring theme. So we've really cleaned some stuff up.
Yeah, it's been streamlined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where we are at a sticking point,
We need to do something with that.
Oh, we're gonna charge somebody.
oh, we only have we only have a minute left.
No, you just have to select okay, because it's,
So I
but it's been,
On the screen?
I think
saying
still in
it hasn't been touched in a while.
What do you mean? We'll be moving.
TV,
The TV hasn't been.
the monitor basically is gonna shut off.
So this. Okay, sorry, people, if we go away.
Okay. All right. All right.
Are you there still?
So
I am not here still.
one of the main sticking points at this point to really get up to the governor's expectations for licensure, and best practices of most boards, is this requirement that the board approves all applications, right? And that in between board meetings, you have been approving interim applications.
Yes.
And then it comes to the board to approve,
To ratify.
what you've approved, right? So the majority of boards have specific times listed, like a specific policy of do not issue a license to these people unless we see it. But everybody else, go ahead. And some boards, and I'm happy to do it with this board, some boards will say like every quarter, give you a list to just ratify what we've already done. I don't do that at OBMM. I don't think there's a couple other boards that don't do that, but there's a couple boards that do give you a whole list at the end. So that's fine. But what we really need is a delegation of authority, and which is what I've put a draft in there for you. A delegation of authority and a policy that allow, because your delegation of authority, by the way, delegations of authority are supposed to be reviewed and updated every 1 to 2 years. We do ours every 2 years. I think that's what most people do because most boards have chairs for 2 years, and so it usually rotates the chair. Yours has not been touched since 2013. So it's incredibly out of date. And so the changes of delegation and it also seemed to me that there wasn't a lot of clarity on what the board wanted to see or didn't want to see when it came to applications. Like there was some matrix that were floating around from 5 years ago about and other or older probably. Like so it seemed like there wasn't a lot of guidance for them to know when you wanted to see something, and that the fact that we had to have Amy just look at a bunch of numbers and say, okay, seems to stall the process. So what we're proposing, what I'm proposing under this delegation of authority is that you allow the board to license applicants unless their application shows certain things. And that's the second page, or not, maybe not the second page. But if you go, there's a policy, it says per policy, the board will issue. And then the second page is the policy. And this is just a work in like I feel like I've kind of taken in what I've heard from staff, and then just understanding kind of what your priorities are around impairment and person crimes, obviously. I looked at Washington State's. Theirs is incredibly detailed. It's in rule. We could eventually do that. I do think having a delegation of authority makes it more flexible for the boards to change. But right now, the delegation of authority that you have from 2013 makes you all involved in every single aspect of the board's business when it comes to applications and renewals. And that is just not how most boards function. Most boards focus on the administrative rulemaking and obviously the investigations and leave the business of the business to the board. But of course, with parameters, right? And so that's what I've written there. That the differences between what we would approve and what you all would.
It'd be helpful for me. So I know this, and maybe this is not today, I don't know. It'd be helpful for me to go through this kind of like number one, number two, like some of these I'm like, what does that one mean?
Well, let's see.
There are possible, I mean, I don't love that our next meeting isn't until September, but would there be a possibility for us to like really take the time individually to look at this, come questions, and then have the discussion in September? I mean, because I didn't know why this was here, what was happening. And so, kind of looked it over, but didn't really know the context. And I don't know. And I like to ask questions about the details. I've already demonstrated that. So, and I'm looking at, it's 3:00, and it's been a long day, and I really would have liked the time to understanding where you were coming from, like, that the 2013 document was the most recent one and how it's been used and the conversation. And I would have had a different experience. I would have spent more time on it, understanding that what our intention was in it.
So with that said, totally understand. Can we kind of meet in the middle just so we can clean some stuff up? And that allow those that would, as of this moment, would never have gone to you all, right? That we know that following the old process, we know that we never would have, those would have never gone to you. Can you, for temporarily, till we meet and change the delegation of authority, provide us with that temporary authority to go ahead and issue the licenses for ones that we know that we've already been doing.
That are complete.
Right.
There's
Zero questions.
So we
check all the boxes.
So the ones that we send to you to do that, okay, great.
The consent.
Right. If we could just continue on that track without having to get it approved by you.
Yes.
Then for just the interim, and then you all can spend more time with this.
I'm comfortable with that, and I do, both.
So I think that's right, because delegation of authority is a big thing, and I really did want it to get to you all sooner. The one thing I didn't understand about the board meeting that was so completely different from how we do it is like there's an actual cutoff when we are doing a board packet, right? Where it's Friday at 5. Now, do we make it every time? No. Sometimes it's at 7. Sometimes Robin my assistant will do it, the board assistant will do it at,
We would love that.
8 a.m. on Saturday. But we send a message, or I always try to at least do the executive session by the Friday that we promised. And then sometimes it was like, okay, your executive session's been loaded. We didn't get to the public. That'll happen on Monday. But we tell them. So I was really under the impression that when Kim said there's a drop dead deadline of Friday, like that was really true. And I know that you weren't lying. And I know that you were really believing that and wanting that to be true, but it wasn't. And so my week got completely, like there was a whole plan of how I was going to communicate with all of you and explain all of this to you and have a like howdy email like by Tuesday morning. But things just kept going in the box and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? So I am going to tell you that we are going to institute that this is the day and time, and this is it. Like, if you miss the train, you miss the train, right? Because I think it's really difficult to have things just dropped in every day up to like, what was it, Thursday, last night, Wednesday night?
Last night.
Yeah, I
Last
think
night.
that is not best practices. I was not aware that that's how this rolled. But I'm not going to change a whole lot of like what you do as a board because I'm not the permanent. But I do think that there's things that are like expectations of boards. Like I think that the next person along will be like, yeah, of course you have a deadline for when it's.
I was really confused because
Yeah.
I was like, I took it, like, luckily I worked extra, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this interfered with my
Yeah.
regular life. I was up at 3:30 this morning.
Yeah. No.
Because these are important to me. So not showing up here, not prepared it's not an option for me.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that happening though,
Like,
in the previous ones either, where it
I
was
mean,
going in at the
they were
last
like,
second.
it's always like, it wasn't a week before at times. I mean, it's always been really close. And I was gonna say something this time, so I'm glad.
Yeah, no, so we're gonna have it be a real, like a hard,
A week
Love it.
before.
like that Friday is gonna be a hard deadline. And if, and like I said, because there's also just some psychology around the idea of like, not the reports that come later, like the primacy versus, right, and how much time you spend on things. So it's important that you get the packet as in full, on a specific date and time, or at least be advised, okay, we didn't make it by Friday at 5, but it'll be there by Monday at 10, right? But we're not gonna do the dribs and drabs anymore. Like that is,
Something gets added after you read it and then
well, right.
someone's like, did you see that? And it's like, what?
Well, and then that's also, that was the concern of like, well, what's the process for telling people? And it was like, well, we know when people can read stuff in box, and it's like, okay, but so we're gonna clean that all up. We're gonna just have it be a real hard deadline, and that's how we're gonna go forward.
I think it would be helpful, maybe it's just on the agenda, but especially if we have things where like, I don't know, like documents that we're looking at,
Mhm.
right? That are not cases. Cases are clear. We know what we're doing there. That there's some kind of brief description around what are we doing with, what are you wanting? What am I doing here? Am I just reading it? Like,
Okay. You know what?
feedback, like, I think if we have a little bit of context, that also
So
streamlines this.
I
I know, I like
the Dutch Bath board, like they're like, I mean, you need to like highlight it and put it with bold and underline it and say like, I need to read this. And I almost did that. I'm like, these people don't know me. They're gonna think that I'm treating them like they're done. Like my people like that. But I was like, I don't want to treat them like they're done.
No,
But even if the OER just said review revisions.
I agree.
Yes, then we're.
the why of it, not, I know I need to read it. I
Yeah.
don't need you to bold that. I'll read
Yeah.
everything.
I agree.
But I want to know, what are you looking for from me? If it's not something that,
Great point.
especially if it's something that's like, it's this week or this meeting, but it's not something we do every single meeting.
Right.
I think there was a new board member.
It's also helpful for the public when they
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
this, that
Yeah.
they're like,
What's-
oh,
Why is that on there?
this is,
Mhm.
this rule is being
Totally.
revised.
Right.
That makes sense.
And
It helps them decide if they want to come maybe or comment.
100%. And this is, I was trying to follow
That's fine. I
the
did.
format. No, I was trying to follow the format that had to the best of. So she's her eyes are moving.
Okay.
She just.
I thought the screen was.
That are just intently paying
I'm
attention.
here. I'm just looking at my other screen
Yeah.
to read this delegation of authority while I listen.
So I also do agendas very differently than how you all do. And I kind of tried to follow the way your format.
We know it's all new.
Is-
None of this
yeah.
is any kind of critique. It's just a conversation. So I don't want you to feel like you need to explain, like, we know it's a learning curve and you have another job.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I didn't want to change things from your,
Yeah.
like, I changed enough things but I would love to do the agendas differently if that would be helpful to you. I would love to make sure that all of the materials are there by 5 o'clock on Friday, like, and have a hard deadline. And, and we can't talk specifics, but But even like the box, does that work for you? Do you want
It
everything?
worked better in the previous month than it did this
Yes, right.
time.
No,
And
I
actually,
understand.
we had kind of gotten it where it was working pretty well. I think we'd made some tweaks along the way, but I feel like it got easier and easier to find stuff.
Okay,
Cut it down.
okay.
So
Okay, so
So we need to, before we move on, we need to give delegation of authority that would allow the
Temporary.
board staff to approve applications that have no,
right, we would normally.
that would
Normally
normally
be-
come to the chair for.
So no new criteria. It's the same criteria we've used. We're just removing the requirement that you approve them before we.
you're trying to figure out how to formulate a motion.
Thank you.
Well, you're delegating your authority to sign to me and staff.
So I don't even know if that's a motion or just you delegating you are doing it
I
personally,
think we
Amy.
should- I think,
No.
You
I
vote?
think we should vote. on
Okay.
that.
Yeah, because the delegation of authority is clear that you all have to do it.
Get my authority away. This is one-
Yeah.
Do you want to
Delegate.
make a motion?
This is Amy, and I would make a motion to delegate
The authority.
the authority that the chair currently has for
Mhm.
approving licensure to the staff and to the executive director.
Beautiful.
With using the existing criteria. Yeah,
Yeah, the same stuff that, yeah,
got it.
perfect.
This is Molly, I second.
Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
Molly Jansen, I.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Great. I think that's a great solution because I
Yeah.
didn't want you to rush
Yeah.
through what I wrote. And I actually will get you, like I was looking at the Washington stuff yesterday. I think it'll be good for you to look at what other boards do.
I agree, that would be helpful.
So this is a great compromise.
Okay.
So we can get things moving.
Yep.
All right. Excellent. Excellent.
Consent agenda.
That is in box now. Number 7.
Not to be my teenager, but what's your first?
Agenda? Where is it?
It looks like I have
Thank you.
at least a third, so here you go.
Oh, I always have to do that in a consent agenda.
It's like.
Oh, that's your pins.
I know.
Anyway, I see a couple
I
names.
know, that's why
Oh,
I'm
but
looking at
there's
this.
Okay.
Students.
Yep.
Ex-students.
I do that.
All right.
Supervise me.
This is Molly Jansen. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Amy Ashton Williams, I second. Amy Ashton Williams, aye.
Molly Jansen, I.
Nicole Pantley, I.
Eli Kinsley, aye.
Olivia Borman, I.
Consent agenda has been approved.
Okay.
I don't think anybody from NASW is here, and I did reach out to her. I sent her an email. I just didn't hear back to see if she was going to be here, so.
I know I talked to Danielle at the conference and she
Okay.
did say she wanted to be more active in, having some conversations. I did express to her our disappointment, particularly with the health council and then all stuff having legislative, but she's been recently appointed, I think, as you're well aware of, the executive director for this region.
Yep.
And so she said, I am going to be more proactive, going to be more involved. And I said, well, we would really welcome that. Because you.
She was here at the last
Oh,
board
good.
meeting.
Yes.
So I sent her an email Tuesday or Wednesday and just was like, hey, what's up? What are you doing?
And the conference will be in Portland next year.
I saw that.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
Yeah, really exciting. I don't know, I don't have an ASWB. There is leadership meeting in August, so I'll go to that as like a subcommittee chair. But then the next big one is the one in November.
November, the delegate.
For the delegate assembly. But I do think for new board members, we can get you some information about new board member training. It's free and you can sign up and
I think the next one's in October and DC, there is an online one, but I really encourage you to go to it. It was really good to go and
it's pretty nice.
In Washington, DC?
yeah. In October, you can sign it up for it too. Yeah, it was nice.
So it's staff
It's
and
good. Food was delicious.
Lots of good learning.
Yeah.
I really encouraged me to like sign up for my own personal board trainings. I have to learn, understand more on boards.
The delegate assembly and then the education meeting, there's an executive director meeting. So they get together and they spend the entire day talking about like
Yeah.
what's going on.
So the
in different
administrator
states.
forum.
Nice.
Mhm.
And then at the same time that's going on, board members have their own. So
Oh,
we're
nice.
talking about like what's going on in your state, or as a board member, like what are the struggles, or could we support you?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And the education meetings are usually in April,
They
right?
are in April.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Do we have written?
There were a couple emails.
The inbox.
They are.
Yes.
They are
Maybe titled correspondence. still.
number 9. It has the date and then it says number 9 and then the person's.
Okay, never, okay, the, okay.